Against Crawford, you need more than power, you need more than speed, you need ring IQ, you need literally everything, because this is the two best pound-for-pound fighters.
Boxing world is buzzing with excitement. Turki Alalshikh just announced a huge fight on Twitter. CaneloAlvarez will face TerenceCrawford. We will bring you the fight of the century during Riyadh season. It will happen on September 12th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. The legend Canelo will defend his Ring magazine title against the great TerenceCrawford. The TV channel will be announced soon, and we have a big surprise. My brother Dana White will help me promote this first TKO boxing event. It's going to be wild. This fight was teased right after Canelo beat William Skull on May 3, 2025, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Right after that win, Turki Alalshikh surprised everyone by bringing Crawford face-to-face with Canelo for the first time. That moment lit up the boxing world. Now everyone, fans, boxing legends, and experts, is talking about this upcoming battle. One of them, Dmitry Bivol, who once beat Canelo, shared his thoughts. He said that Crawford's hunger to win and how often he fights could make things tough for Canelo. He also said Crawford's mindset and ability to adjust will be very important, especially with the power and pressure he'll face at the 106.
He wants this fight a lot. He wants this fight, and I think he will be more active than Canelo's previous opponent, and he has different mentality. He has champion mentality. I think the fight will be much more interesting.
What do you make of the weight in that fight, the weight difference?
I think Crawford will not let Canelo just walking on the ring when he wants, you know, because we could see this fight. Canelo did everything. When he wanna rest, he could rest easy, you know, in this fight. Yeah, of course, when he wants to work, that guy didn't give him work. He just rest. And I think with Crawford, it will be harder to rest.
Who do you think wins?
I don't know. It's a very interesting fight, but I don't know. We'll see.
Former world champion Amir Khan, who has fought both Canelo and Crawford, shared his thoughts on the fight. He said that boxing intelligence will be very important in this matchup. According to Khan, Canelo might be stronger, but Crawford is smarter in the ring. He added that Crawford's quick footwork, speed, and smart strategy could be the key to winning.
It could have gone either way, because I had probably Skull winning by 2 rounds. I mean, I like Canelo. I think he's a great fighter, but the thing is, I think that he was looking he was picking the shots better and landing the better, cleaner shots. Canelo was marked up a little bit, but look, it could have gone either way. Anyway, regardless how the fight went, it was a great performance by both fighters. But it's made a bigger fight happen now with Canelo and Crawford. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Is there more question marks being asked in that fight now? Because a lot of people say, look, Canelo's a bigger guy. He should technically be the bigger guy, have too much weight for Crawford. But from that performance, do you feel like it's a lot tight and there's a lot more question marks in that fight?
Yeah, I mean, you need more than size, you need more than weight, you need more than everything. I mean, I think what you need now is you just need box IQ, the right box IQ, you know what I mean? You need to be smart. And someone like Canelo fighting against Crawford, you need more than power, you need more than speed, you need ring IQ, you need literally everything, because this is the two best pound-for-pound fighters who are going to be fighting each other, even though Crawford is going to be giving away a lot of weight. But I feel that it could go either way.
Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. shared his opinion about the fight. He said the result might depend on how Canelo approaches it. If Canelo thinks Crawford will be easy to beat and doesn't take him seriously, he could end up losing. Roy Jones Jr. said it's very important for Canelo to respect Crawford's skills and train properly for the fight interview. Boxing Hall of Famer Juan Manuel Marquez shared his concerns about the fight. He's not sure if it's a good idea for Crawford to move up in weight. Marquez said weight classes exist to keep fights fair. He thinks Crawford might be taking too big of a risk by fighting Canelo at super middleweight, which could work against him.
Not fight. You know, it's a hard one to call, and I'm going to tell you why it's a hard one to call. It's a hard one to call because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox TerenceCrawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove the world that he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo come to the dance.
And just two more. Jaron Ennis, a lot of people say there's similarities between you and him. What do you think of this fight coming up with Stanionis?
We're going to find out a lot about Jaron Ennis against Stanionis because Stanionis is a very good prospect, up-and-coming.
Skull, who recently fought Canelo Alvarez, talked about the upcoming fight between Canelo and Crawford. He didn't go into much detail, but he said it's a very big fight with a lot of excitement and high stakes. Interview 6. Terence Crawford sees this fight as the biggest chance of his career. He respects Canelo Alvarez and calls him the face of boxing. Crawford is excited to show the world what he can do on such a big stage. His confidence shows that he's ready and focused on making history and leaving his mark in the sport.
I don't like the fight because Terence Crawford is a good fighter, but in the sport of boxing, it has divisions. You know what I mean? You know?
Right, weight classes.
You know what?
Right?
Yeah, weight classes
for a reason.
Weight classes for and Terence Crawford is a good fighter in super lightweight, welterweight, super welterweight, but I think more. I remember when Terence Crawford fought with Madrimov.
Yes.
He looks slow. He looks with no power. And 3 more divisions, two more divisions. I think it's a top fight for Terence Crawford, but Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He has a great defense. He has a good combination punches, but I think the weight class is no good for him.
Canelo Alvarez hopes Terence Crawford comes to fight with the goal of putting on a great show. Looking back at his fight with William Skull, Canelo said he wants opponents who try to fight, not just last all the rounds. He believes fans deserve an exciting battle and expects Crawford to step up and deliver one. Interview. British welterweight Conor Benn sees the fight is very even. He called it a 50-50 matchup. Ben believes both fighters have different strengths, which makes the fight hard to predict and very
No, el boxeo es una cajita sorpresa, no se sabe. Hay que esperar la pelea ahí y después ver la decisión, pero todavía no tengo nada así claro.
Well, I really have nothing much to say. Boxing is like a Pandora's box, so it's about to wait and see.
People have raised concerns about how Canelo Alvarez looked in his recent fight against William Skull. They say he didn't move as well as he used to and didn't seem as dominant. Critics are now wondering if Canelo can still perform at a top level, especially against a tough opponent like Terence Crawford, after such a slow-paced fight.
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He's the biggest fight for Terence Crawford out there, so that's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
How do you beat him?
UFC. Come 12.
Everyone's talking about the weight differences. What's your kind of response to that, Terence?
That's why we fight the fight. So September 12th, we all going to see if the weight going to make a difference or not.
Do you want to fight him twice and then retire? Is that kind of the ideal thing for you?
One fight at a time. One fight at a time.
Trainer Joel Diaz believes the size difference could play a big role in the fight. He says Canelo is used to taking punches from bigger fighters, which gives him an advantage. Diaz thinks Crawford might have a hard time doing real damage at this higher weight.
Mediocre mind because they come just to survive, to go to the 12th round. That's a mediocre mind. You need to put a good fight there and put great show. You know what I mean?
Do you think Crawford will employ the same tactics to try and box?
I hope not. I hope not because the people deserve a good fight.
What do you make of the Crawford fight next?
Huh?
How excited are you for the Crawford fight?
I'm excited. I'm gonna enjoy this win and then.
Former champion and promoter Oscar De La Hoya isn't too confident about the fight. He called it a money grab. De La Hoya said that in boxing history, smaller fighters almost never beat bigger fighters when both have equal skill. That's why he doubts Crawford can win at super middleweight. Interview 12. Super middleweight contender David Benavidez thinks Terence Crawford has what it takes to pull off an upset. He believes Crawford's amazing skills and strong work ethic could help him beat Canelo Alvarez.
Crawford going up, I believe he can put a beating on anybody 154, 160.
But not 68.
Nah, Benavidez is...
Canelo. Yeah.
Oh, Canelo. Yeah, I think he's a smart fighter. He doesn't rely on his power. Crawford ain't a fighter who just relies on his power. And then Canelo, you know, when he's fought Belenga, then fought Ryder, Munguia, it's even. I think it'd be a 50-50 fight if Crawford fought Canelo.
Unified heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk shared his thoughts on the fight. He said that in boxing, skill is often more important than size. Usyk believes Crawford's sharp technique and boxing smarts could give him the edge, even though Canelo is naturally the bigger.
The Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but you know, he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Alvarez of 5 years ago would have handled, and he did handle him, but you know what I mean, he probably would have put some damage on William Skull. He didn't do anything. He didn't look good. And William Skull played his part in that, it has to be said. As I said, you fight that negative, there's only so much you can really do, you know, even if you're Canelo Alvarez, even if you are Alexander Usyk.
Former welterweight champion Sean Porter, who has fought Crawford before, shared some concerns. He knows Crawford is tough, but he wonders if Crawford can handle Canelo's power. Porter isn't sure if Crawford can deal with the strength and size of a naturally bigger fighter.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
Promoter Eddie Hearn called the fight a freak fight because of the big size difference between the two fighters. He said that even if Crawford does well, the size gap could still be a major problem. Hearn also pointed out that if Canelo wins, it might not mean as much because he's naturally much bigger than Crawford. Interview 16 Zayn. Super middleweight Caleb Plant had good things to say about Terence Crawford. He praised Crawford's ability to adapt and his unique boxing style. Plant believes that even though the weight difference matters, Crawford's smart and strategic approach could make the fight much closer than
Canelo versus William Skull. William who?
Oscar being back in New York over here.
No, let's just say Canelo Crawford. In the history of boxing, and this is the facts.
Let's get it.
If you see Thursdays, Fact Thursdays, I speak the facts. All right, I'll even do it for you. A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game, unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, this is the truth again, it's a money grab. That's it. Yeah.
But Crawford doesn't rely on his power, he relies on his IQ. Crawford, what he did to Spence was magic, was incredible, was amazing. And so, look, one thing about Canelo is that we all know that he walks in the ring as if there's wet cement, right? His footwork is a little too heavy. Crawford is such a smart fighter where he can he's like Bruce Lee, literally. And he's in his peak, he's in his prime, and so I think that if that fight ever happens, which I don't think it will, if that fight ever happens, I have to go with Crawford.
There you have it, Oscar De La Hoya talking about Crawford.
Famous trainer and boxing commentator Teddy Atlas is picking Terence. Crawford to win. He says Crawford has amazing skills, strong mental toughness, and can adjust during a fight. According to Atlas, Crawford's mindset, never accepting defeat, makes him a dangerous opponent no matter what weight class he...
Magazine, which is owned by Turkey, reported that Canelo and Crawford have agreed to the September date and that it's essentially on. What is your... I know this has been rumored and talked about, but now it seems like a done deal. What's your reaction to this?
It's a good fight. You know, it's a good fight for both of them. Good fight for... I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, you know, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
I know you said, like, he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him like a 7 out of a 10.
Oh, wow, that high. I thought you were going to say like 25 just because of the size.
Good. Crawford is good, and
of course.
I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long, long time. And, you know, Crawford, he likes to pick up the weights. So I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long, long time. So, you know, Crawford, when he has, with a person that has a big IQ like that, if you do enough weights, you know, and you stay working for a long time, you know, you have a puncher's chance.